Empty Your Mind, a powerful motivational story for your life. The noise within. Ethan sat at the edge of his bed, staring at the floor that had become his morning mirror. The clock ticked past 6 a.m., but his mind was already full of yesterday's regrets, tomorrow's fears, and today's unfinished thoughts. He had everything most people would call success: a stable job, an apartment in the city, and a small circle of friends. Yet he felt trapped. His mind never rested. Every sound outside, the honking cars, the chatter of people, the vibration of his phone seemed to amplify the noise inside him. "Why can't I just be at peace?" he whispered. His therapist once told him, "You think too much." But how could he stop thinking? The mind was like a wild river, constantly flowing, dragging him with it. That morning, something inside him broke. A quiet realization that his mind had become his master. He didn't control his thoughts, they controlled him. And so began his journey to empty his mind. The Stranger in the Park. Ethan's first attempt at peace began in a nearby park. He'd read that nature had a calming effect on the human mind, so he sat under an oak tree, closed his eyes, and tried to empty his mind. It lasted 2 minutes. His thoughts came rushing in: emails, bills, his ex, deadlines, and the neighbor's dog that barked every morning. He sighed and opened his eyes, disappointed. "Trying to stop your thoughts?" a voice asked. Ethan looked up. An old man sat on a nearby bench feeding pigeons. He had a white beard and eyes that seemed to hold both the calm of the ocean and the mystery of the sky. "Yes," he admitted, "but it's impossible." The old man smiled. "You can't stop the river from flowing. You can only learn to stand beside it." "What does that mean?" Ethan frowned. "It means peace is not found by silencing your mind. It's found by understanding it. Emptying your mind doesn't mean removing thoughts. It means removing the power they have over you." Ethan listened, unsure, but something about the old man's words felt different, like a whisper from truth itself. "Come here every morning," the old man said. "Let's see if your mind can learn to be empty." The next morning, Ethan returned to the park. The old man was there again, feeding pigeons. "Sit," he said. Ethan obeyed. "Close your eyes," the man continued. "Now, don't try to stop your thoughts. Just watch them. Pretend your mind is a sky and your thoughts are clouds passing by. Don't chase them, don't judge them, just see them drift." Ethan followed his instructions. At first, his thoughts screamed for attention. "I need to finish that report. I'm late. I should have had breakfast." But slowly, as he just observed them, they began to lose their sharpness. They came and went, like passing birds. After a while, the old man said, "Now open your eyes." "How do you feel?" "I feel lighter," he said in surprise, "like I'm watching myself from outside." "That's the first step," the man smiled. "When you learn to observe your mind, you are no longer trapped inside it." Ethan nodded. For the first time in years, he felt a glimpse of freedom, not because his thoughts had vanished, but because they no longer controlled him. The weight of memories. A week passed. Each morning, Ethan sat with the old man, who he introduced himself as Master Lin. They rarely spoke beyond the lessons. One morning, as Ethan sat quietly, a memory surfaced. The day his father died. Guilt and anger filled his heart. He'd avoided that memory for years, burying it under work and noise. His breathing quickened. Master Lin, noticing his discomfort, said softly, "The mind empties itself when you stop running from what it holds." "I don't want to remember," Ethan muttered. "That's exactly why you must. When you suppress pain, it clings to you. Let it rise, let it hurt, and let it go." Ethan took a deep breath and allowed the memory to replay. His father in the hospital bed, his final words, the regret of not saying goodbye properly, it all came rushing back. Tears rolled down his cheeks. But then something happened. The pain, once unbearable, started to dissolve. It didn't disappear, but it lost its grip. When he opened his eyes, the old man simply said, "You see, To empty your mind, you must first empty your heart. The mirror test. Master Lin gave Ethan a strange assignment. Tomorrow morning, he said, stand in front of a mirror. Look into your eyes and say, "I forgive you." Do not stop until you believe it. Ethan thought it was ridiculous, but he did it anyway. He stood before the mirror. "I forgive you," he said softly. Nothing. He felt like a liar. He said it again and again. The reflection stared back at him, emotionless at first. Then, after what felt like an hour, his voice cracked. "I forgive you for failing, for doubting, for being afraid, for carrying the past." Tears streamed down his cheeks. And then a silence came, not from the world, but from within. A stillness so profound that it felt sacred. That night, for the first time in years, Ethan slept peacefully. The noise of the world. Weeks turned into months. Ethan's practice deepened. He found himself less reactive, more aware, and calmer at work. But the world didn't change. It still shouted, demanded, and rushed. One morning, he complained to Master Lin. "Even when I am calm, the world around me keeps throwing chaos in my face." Lin chuckled. "The world is a mirror, not an obstacle. If it feels noisy, it's showing you the noise still left inside you." Ethan frowned. "So I can't blame anyone?" Exactly. The mind loves to project its chaos outward, but when you learn to empty it, even the city becomes silent. That day, Ethan walked through traffic, horns blaring, people shouting, but somehow he felt peace. The noise was there, but it didn't enter him. He finally understood what Master Lin meant. Peace is not the absence of noise, but the absence of reaction. The lesson of the lake. One morning, Lin took Ethan to a hidden lake outside the city. The water was perfectly still, reflecting the sky like a mirror. "Throw this stone," Lin said, handing him a small pebble. He threw it. Ripples spread across the lake, distorting the reflection. "What do you see?" "The reflection is broken," Ethan replied. "Exactly. The lake is your mind. When disturbed by thoughts, it cannot reflect truth clearly. But when it's still, it mirrors reality perfectly." Ethan nodded slowly. "To empty your mind," Lin continued, "you must stop throwing stones. Stop reacting, stop resisting, stop overthinking. Let your mind be like this lake, calm, present, unshaken." He looked at the lake again. The ripples began to fade, and the reflection returned. He smiled. "I understand." "No," Lin said gently. "You are beginning to." The disappearance. One morning, Ethan went to the park as usual, but Master Lin wasn't there. He waited for hours. Days passed, weeks. Lin never returned. Ethan felt lost, but deep down, he knew this was another lesson. He continued his practice alone, sitting under the oak tree, observing his mind, facing his emotions, forgiving himself. Slowly, he realized that Master Lin hadn't disappeared. He had simply stepped inside him. The teacher had become the voice within, the calm observer, the silent wisdom guiding him through chaos. Ethan no longer searched for silence. He was silence. The return. A year later, Ethan visited the same park again. He sat under the oak tree, now stronger and greener than ever before. He closed his eyes. The sounds of the city faded into the background. Inside, his mind was clear, empty, yet full of awareness. He smiled. In that emptiness, he felt life itself, every breath, every sound, every sensation, without judgment, without fear. Then he heard a voice behind him. "You've learned well." Ethan opened his eyes. Master Lin stood there, smiling. "You disappeared," Ethan said, overwhelmed. "I never left," Lin replied. When the student stops searching, the teacher returns, not as a man, but as wisdom. Ethan bowed deeply. "Thank you, Master." "You remember," Master Lin nodded. "An empty mind is not nothing. It is everything. It is the space where truth lives, where love flows, and where peace begins." And just like that,